a gentleman up here a couple panels ago. Both signs were here. He was going to shoot. I just want the guy who I'm shooting. The sign in front of it. I was like, don't throw my sign away. I know I'm not really as popular. No. Well, this is a fantastic opportunity. I mean, I can bring up notes, which I will. I don't have a problem cheating with the notes. Cheat. But
you have answers as well.
Let's, if we can talk about, gosh, where do we begin? I mean, obviously Sleepy Hollow, the success of the show. The success of the show is tremendous, and you know, within the first. Does everybody know within the first season that, like, the first 2 weeks, all of a sudden Fox said, "This is a gem, and we're giving you a second season," like that. Yeah. And then not only did they give you a second season, but didn't they extend it another 5 or 6 weeks or something?
Yeah, they added. It went from 13 to 18, and then a few months ago we were commissioned for a third season.
And by the way, if you guys have questions at any point in time, feel free to walk up to the microphone that is right here in the middle. Do not hesitate to ask questions, because there's always that moment when you're watching the show, like, I wonder if ... Now is that I wonder if moment that can come to fruition. When are you guys?
Restrict yourself to Sleepy Hollow. I'm so drunk, I'll answer anything.
What is the drink of choice today, other than the the elixir that's in your hand?
Neat gin.
Excellent. So there you go. Next time you are in, anybody's in the Wellington area and there's filming, make sure you send a. Oh, Atlanta. Okay.
Yeah.
Because a friend of mine is in Wellington. He lives there, and I asked him. I go, so they shoot? He goes, yeah. It's like Wilmingwood down here. Because
they call it Wilmingwood.
Yeah, because those of you who don't know, in Wilmington they shoot a few other shows, and like the locals there, they're like, okay, another show is happening. This is now turning into
boring.
They get excited about it, but no, seriously, going back to the Sleepy Hollow, are you guys already done with the third season, or?
No, I think the writers go back in the writers' room next week, and then we start shooting the second week of July, I think. And then it will air same time, beginning of September. Almost really pleased.
It was a partial. All right, we'll do it. You guys, you're so fascinated in kind of please, no, start the trend. Okay. Because what happens is, if one starts, all of a sudden everybody's like, I need to get in on this. I have to talk to Tom. Yes, what is your question? And please state your name, too.
Oh, my name is Lisa.
Uh-oh. Is that on?
Your cosplay is amazing.
Okay, I'm Lisa.
Hello.
Hi. So I'm just going to go deep right away. So, you know, at the end of the season 2, which everyone's seen, presumably, so it's not a spoiler. No spoilers? It's not a spoiler, right? Okay. Yeah, so Ichabod kind of doesn't have a lot of things in his life anymore, from his old life, and it's now all just 20th century, or 21st century, whatever we're in. So I'm just wondering how that's going to be for him, and if that means that his old world is now something that we don't really explore anymore because he doesn't have the connections to it anymore.
Well, that's one of the things but did everyone hear that?
No.
At the end of the second season, when, spoiler alert, Ichabod loses everything, what do I hope will happen in season 3? It's the thing that's going to be most interesting to explore, because even not long after Ichabod came out of the ground, he found out that Katrina was in purgatory. She may be in purgatory, but she's still, you know, she will occasionally visit him, so he does have occasional ties to his era. But now that's completely gone. Now there's nothing for him in this world now from his original world. All he has is his new family, largely Abby, who's taking a picture. Lieutenant Abigail Mills cosplay. So Abby and Jenny and Frank Irving really are all, that's his new family. So him trying to find his place anew will be exciting, I think.
I'll just put my vote in for it. Hopefully we still get to explore some of the past.
Oh, I'm certain there'll still be all the good flashback stuff as well. Thanks very much.
My name's Teresa. What do you think about all the costumes, the period costumes that you wear?
I've always loved a period costume. My career has been period costumes. My mum's always pleased. It's usually the first thing she says when I get a job is, will you be in breeches? But no, this is a good one, especially, well, from the pilot, Len Wiseman designed the period costume in the modern day. So everything was a lot darker and black, and that's where the collar up came from. That's just Len being Len. And saying, you've got to look cool with your collar up and being black and dark. And it's quite nice that when you then see the flashbacks and you see his Ichabod's military costume, and it's kind of recognizable with the modern one. There are little things that you see that are similar, but then also I love it. I'm happy with it.
Do you think you can say a happy birthday to my friend's mom? Her name's Liz.
Her name's what, sorry?
Liz.
Lynn.
Liz.
Liz. Happy
Hello, Sleepyhead.
Hi, my name is Galia,
birthday. Okay.
and I have a question I've been dying to ask you for a long time and a suggestion. I was at the screening in Hollywood when they did, in the Mausoleum, they did the finale when you and Nicole were there.
Oh, at the cemetery, yeah.
Yes. And they did a couple of bloopers in there where there was one episode with the Scarecrow where you bent down, you thought she was going to come through, and it was a Scarecrow, and your reaction was, oh, bleep, and you just...
Oh, yeah, I shot myself.
I wondered if they were freaking you out, or if you knew it was going to come, or if that was a true, because you...
Oh, no, I had no idea that was coming. In The Scarecrow is a guy called Marty Martulis, who is just one of the best creature actors. He was in The Scarecrow, he was the Sandman in season 1. He was, when Moloch turned, when he came out of his skin and he was black, that was Marty, he's the black Moloch. Which other ones? He's done lots of others. He was one of the Reavers as well. He's been in... Was he the Wendigo? He was the Wendigo as well. Well done. So he's one of our... He and a guy called Derek Mears are our two regular creature guys, and they just loved making me shoot myself. So if they can jump out at me, I shoot myself.
Well, I just loved on Facebook when, in that episode, when people turned around and they said, we love it when Ichabod went all Paul Bunyan on his, you know, you know,
I don't know what Paul Bunyan means. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. And the suggestion I had too was I'm hoping in season 3 they can introduce Ichabod to airplanes.
Well, actually, that was I remembered at the end of the first season, there was a reenactment battle where Ichabod met the girl who gets all his new clothes. And I remember sitting in a reenactment field with Alex Kurtzman and Mark Goffman, just kind of throwing in ideas about what would be cool from now on. And one of the ones that really got us excited is Ichabod on a plane. And Alex said, wouldn't it be great if he thought it was just a really fast bus. Until suddenly it takes off. And then I suggested that he was so frightened that he freaked out and Jenny has to knock him out.
Well, he loves the motorcycle, so he loved the motorcycle, so
oh, yeah.
I'm wondering if he'd love, I want one of those.
So we'll go through all the motor transport. In fact, actually, in the pilot, the first script I saw of the pilot, instead of the amazing John Joe in a police car catching Ichabod, he was cornered by a helicopter. Weirdly, the budget people said, police car, I'm not suggesting John Joe's cheap. And I remembered being with my flatmate at the time, thinking about what a reaction would be to a helicopter for the first time. And my friend took great pleasure in just screaming and passing out. That's a reaction to something, I'll fit in.
No, but I'm anxious to see that, so...
Well, thanks very much.
Thank you, Gillian.
I wanted to ask, do you think Ichabod and Abby will ever face the other two horsemen in maybe season 3?
I don't know. That would be interesting to find out what happens with the apocalypse storyline.
Because we were kind of wondering why it was the two. They just
I seem to recall in the first episode after the pilot, did we see all 4 horsemen ride? We did.
Yeah.
That was a sequence that Len Wiseman directed as well. One of them looked like a female. Oh. Oh. Okay, we'll do a female. Yeah, and we briefly saw Pestilence, was it? In John Doe. I'm going to be interested to see whether the apocalypse really has been quashed with the death of Monarch, or whether that's something that's still ongoing. As I say, the writers are back in the room next week, so we don't really know yet.
Well,
which would you prefer? Would you like to see?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Fine, that's what we're going to do.
And can you just say really quick Lieutenant one time to me?
Lieutenant. How we say it in England. And I came over here and I was reading the script for the first read of it. And it got to Lieutenant and everyone went, and thought I just couldn't read. But that is, we do say Lieutenant.
My name's Ina. Hi. I have 2 questions. So, were you aware of the extent of John Noble's role when he first appeared as a Sittinger?
Oh, no.
So that was just sprung on you?
Actually, no, I did know that he would be my son. Yes, because Alex Kurtzman and I were having long discussions about, you're right, Ichabod's son. And when he said, because they had worked with John in Fringe, and so they've known him for years, and he said, I really think John would be great at the part. And I was just trying to play it cool. He said, yeah, he might be quite good. Being a big fan of his. But I didn't know that he would end up being one of the horsemen. That was a surprise that I didn't know until maybe a week before I was sent the script for the finale.
And my second question was, I really enjoyed your narration of Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, thanks.
What did you think of the experience of narrating an audiobook, and what did you do more?
Oh, I'd love to do more. I really enjoy it. Back at home, BBC Radio 4 do lots of radio dramas, and that's a job that every actor loves doing.
Have you done any?
I've done a few, quite a few, and they've been some of the nicest, most fun jobs I've done. You just get together for 3 days and you don't have to learn any lines. Reading the Sleepy Hollow, that's a difficult book to read. I'm not a big fan of the book. Am I going to be strung up?
No, these mics are not being recorded. Not recording anything.
Like, it's a book. It's like 30 pages of lists. It's a man listing what food he likes, and he's riding around town and he lists all of the different trees that he sees. It's a really difficult book especially when you're trying to read and make it sound interesting. Because of my schedule when we did it, I had to do that in one take. And that was a lot harder than you'd imagine. With only the occasional, when I was too drunk to get any words out of but yeah, one take for that, and it's quite an intense hour or so. But I love audiobooks, and I'd love to do more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Will there be any more people from history?
I am almost certain there will be more people from history. I don't know who. We're kind of running out of founding fathers. Oh, actually, I was reading about one not that long ago. Button something. He's one of the people who signed the Declaration of Independence. Button Gwinnett, something like that. I'm pleased you all know him. And he was English and moved to Georgia, I think, and was a businessman and owed lots of people, lots of money, lots of time. And there's only really a handful of his signatures in existence, one of them being on the Declaration of Independence, and no one knows why he's on the Declaration of Independence. He did very, very little to gain independence. But because there are so few, his signature is now the second most valuable signature in the world after William Shakespeare. And there's a guy, I think he might be in Vegas actually, who collects signatures, and there's a brilliant podcast called Radio Lab, and I was listening to it on that. And he kind of has this big vault that opens up a wall, and there's Jefferson, Washington, Ben Franklin, and Button, whatever his name is.
Gwinnett.
Oh, it's a jingle.
Because I'm like you. Okay, well, we only know so much about the history, and you call us out on our own home.
Did I say
You did say it. You did.
So he, all of these amazing men from your history, but Button Gwinnett is the signature that he's most proud of because it's the most valuable. And next week when I speak to the writers, I'm going to pitch an idea for a heist episode to do with Button Gwinnett, who died in a duel, I think. Look him up, it's amazing. Or listen to Radio Lab. Thank you. I don't know if I answered your question.
Hi, I'm Donna, and
Hello.
I want to go back to the finale again because I thought that it was fascinating to watch the difference between getting to know Ichabod Crane in 1781 and seeing how incredibly different he was from the guy we've been watching for 2 seasons. And I was wondering how much time you were given, how long you knew that you were going to do a whole episode of that guy. And, or were these things you had figured out about him a long time ago?
A lot of Ichabod in the 18th century I kind of worked out before. It's just we hadn't really had very much time with him in the flashbacks to explore it. With regards to knowing how much time we'd have in the finale, I think originally the Abbey in the past was going to be the first episode of season 3. Originally, the end of season 2 was going to be her jumping after Katrina and then disappearing.
Why did you change that?
I think we were just so excited to do that episode. So yes, I found out maybe a few weeks before that it would be a full episode of Ichabod in the past.
I think it's important for the audience and for Abby to see that guy.
Oh, absolutely. I think you get to know, you get to understand the modern Ichabod a lot more from seeing
a lot makes more sense.
him in his natural habitat.
Right.
And you can see why he's occasionally just a ferocious asshole. Because he's a man who, you know, he was in a position of authority and he was respected and he had a job that he was really good at. He was really good at it.
Yeah.
And now he's in a world where people kind of, he's a bit of a joke.
And I love that Abby said, ready, Captain. Like, it's her acknowledgement that she understands.
Tip of the hat to Nicole Bahari for those last 2 lines.
Really great. That's fantastic. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hi. My name is Micah, and I'm a proud sleepyhead. Just ignore the costume. I do have a VIP badge. I was wondering, who do you fangirl or fanboy over, since that you do have a room full of your fans?
Probably the only time that I've had a squee fangirl moment was meeting Neil deGrasse Tyson at the first Comic-Con that we went to. Before we even started shooting the first season, after we shot the pilot, we premiered the pilot there. And my friend Corin Brownlee was my date for the weekend. And we went to this party, and it was incredible. If Neil deGrasse Tyson was an incredibly beautiful girl, it would have been a very romantic moment where the crowd separated slightly. In the haze, in the other end of the room, there was Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, and it's probably the only time in my life that I've ever gone up to someone and said, "Hi, I'm Tom. My God, I love you." He's an amazing man. So yes, yeah.
And I actually have a follow-up question, which is like not really related, but more about the show. Given what the season finale was, and how your show kind of has this common trend of people dying are not really dead, I was just wondering, will it ever happen?
How did you go from people dying? Just everyone dies until they're the only two people left.
Is Katrina really dead, and like will that make way for Abby?
Well, actually, I'll be honest, I got quite concerned that it was becoming a trend where, oh, someone's died, but you know they're going to get better. Like when Orlando died, and and I was worried that might take away the danger of the show. You watch shows like The Walking Dead and Game of Thrones where, my God, they'll kill completely out of the blue, and it's wonderful. It's the most exciting moment when you watch someone you love die.
Until it's Daryl Dixon. and the world riots.
Yeah. But this time, you know, we're changing that, and the big surprise is, my God, they are actually dead. John isn't coming back next season. I don't think Katia is as well. And yes, I'm bummed as well. But no, there might be a turning point. It might now be, when you're dead, you're dead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really somber, depressing question.
Hi, my name is Diane, and I'm prepared for the boos and hisses, but I was okay that the Fenestella got blown up. I know. Okay. But no, because I know you're a fan of The Walking Dead. So if you watch The Walking Dead, you know there are always way more zombies than you think there are.
Yep.
So I loved your speech at the end to Jefferson about how much the world had changed, and you don't understand what it's like now up there. And you alluded to the 24-hour news cycle earlier in the show, so it's like, you know,
It's a Damien Kindler episode. He's an excellent writer.
But my question, I guess, is: do you think that the Fenestella will be resurrected? Because in my mind, I see like debris in the cube with the lights still blinking. I don't think it's gone forever.
I found it really difficult. I was saying to Damien, you know, you can't offer this up and then completely get rid of it. But then equally, you can't give you know, there's a box with all of the answers to all of Ichabod and Abby's questions. You equally can't have that. But, you know, it's like, if you tease us with something, we want to get something out of it. It's Chekhov's gun, you know. But then remember that Ichabod has an eidetic memory. And so he had enough time to have a good old look at the Fenestella. And so there will almost certainly be secrets coming back that could hopefully mean perhaps a return of hologram Jefferson.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Hi, Tom. My name is Jill. You have commented before about how the writers like to torture you with respect to languages, and I just say thank you very much for that, because it's very enjoyable to watch you do all the various languages. But I'm curious if there have been other similar crises, difficulties in some of your past roles that come to mind, things that are difficult challenges, like mastering these lines in new languages in any of your past roles.
I really don't think there's been a job as difficult as this one. In any aspect of the job, it's a tough job. Sometimes there are fun difficulties, like 7 Caesar ciphers in the sequence. But then, and then there are really long, tough, really physical. You know, I thought acting was going to be easy. That's not true. With respect to the craft. No, this is a tough one, and that's all I can say. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Thank you very much. Hi, Tom, on Michelle.
Hi.
I guess my question is more back to...
Oh, you're taking pictures of my shoes.
I thought so too.
I'm just loving the hat.
Oh, thanks. I like yours.
Thank you. You can try it on next time.
Excuse us a moment, everybody.
My question was on the craft. In your other works, everybody's in the same time, for lack of a better word. So, getting into a character that you have to stay in your character as to one time, but yet working in another. How do you stay in character?
Well, actually, it's the flouncing tart in me. Likes being the only one who is from this other time. So everyone, you know, can sit back in jeans and argue. And I quite like that I have to be proper and I'm dressed in a different, because then everyone looks at me.
And you're nice to look at.
Thank you. No, it's not, I mean, you still approach it in exactly the same way as you would, no matter what the period is. It's still a person with thoughts, and, you know, one of the really good tips I was given about Shakespeare was by a brilliant actor a long time ago, who said, you know, everyone kind of reveres Shakespeare and goes into period Shakespeare acting, and oh my God, isn't it amazing? When, in actual fact, it stank of shit and everyone had pox. There's nothing kind of airy-fairy and fancy about Shakespeare. It's real people with real problems and real thoughts. And that's the same if you're being Bingley or Potty Perrone or Ichabod or any modern character. You approach it from the same place. It's just everyone looks.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Bring back the skinny jeans.
Uh-oh. Jeans around. There's an awful racket going on next door. I don't know who it is.
Let's counter, okay, real quick. And here's what we're going to do, especially the ladies in the room. I'm going to go to letter number 3. And when I get to 3, I need all of the women to scream as you've just seen Tom for the first time in your life. Ready? Ready? Ladies, ready?
How do you seem to master this German speaking?
the German speaking. German, I did a little bit of at school, and we had a very good German coach for all of the languages. They give you an instructor. But there was one episode where I did quite a bit. What was it? Oh God. The one where we first saw the Hessians and there was a big shootout in the cabin, and they captured one of the Hessians. Lesser Kiev Solomon. I know the show. And there was quite a long German conversation with the Hessian, and by a brilliant coincidence, one of the actors playing the Hessian, even though he had no lines, was actually German. And so he could come up to me and say, Tom, you're embarrassing the entire country. Tell me how to say it. But I really like German.
So do I. Also, can you, in your English accent, say my name?
Well, you didn't state your name.
It's Chloe.
Chloe.
Thank you.
That's like that Love Actually moment. What is this? Bottle. What's this? Chair. Oh, chair.
Hi, Tom. My name is Joyce.
Hello, Joyce.
And we're part of the Sleepy Sisters on Twitter. Could you say hi to Cindy Jacks for me, please?
Cindy Jacks. Hi, Cindy Jacks.
Now, I have a question about the YouTube video that Katya scared you with.
Oh.
And you were playing pool, and you had the funniest laugh. and you called her a girl name.
What did I call her a brick?
Yeah.
Oh, a dick!
How many times has Katya gotten you with her breaks?
Katya is difficult to work with. She, that one, we were shooting in an old club, an old gentleman's club. And underneath there were these tunnels that go under Wilmington, and they were from... Bye, Chloe! Chloe.
She'll be glowing for the rest of the weekend.
Underneath Wilmington, there's these old tunnels from the War of Independence. They'd go way back that. And the guy said, look, if you take off this wooden panel on the basement, you can get into the tunnels that he'd only discovered a year or so ago. And someone, it was Bobby from catering, said, Tom, you've got to come and see these tunnels. You've got to come and see these tunnels. I went, oh my God, tunnels, oh my God, this is amazing. Oh God, mates, we're all having a great time. And then Katya jumped out and frightened the piss out of me. It's scary enough as it is going through those tunnels. Katya realised, I think I've said this before, she realised that there's a certain regional Swedish accent that she can do that defeats me. And in fact, I got a message from her only yesterday, writing it phonetically in this Swedish accent, knowing that I can't control myself. And I like to think I'm quite a worldly chap, and a funny accent isn't going to make me collapse. But it does. She's an awful person.
Thank you very much. I know Orlando, you would think Orlando would be the one that would play the most pranks. But he said that Katya was the worst one.
Yeah.
She got everybody.
Yeah.
But that video of you, I mean, that was hilarious. Thank you for that.
Good. Well, I'm glad my terrible has come from.
My name is Ava, and I am the youngest member of the Sleepy Sisters. And I actually got the second question. I have one question.
Okay.
What is the difference between your voice and your accent? Because your voice sounds the same as your accent.
What's the difference between my voice and my accent?
Yeah.
And did the Ichabod voice and my voice? Do you mean?
Yes.
I've just realised that I've been swearing a lot. It was never been I say.
Look, this is now, dare I say, what happens in Vegas. There you go.
There's, without getting too kind of, I'm not going to swear. I'm going to say, I'm sorry, without getting too wanky about it and pretentious and actory about it, sometimes when you read a script, you just hear a voice. And if it's well written, the character is just there on the page. And you hear the voice and you see them. And then my job is to do that. And that happened 100% with the pilot. I think the guys had written such a beautiful, clear, well-rounded character that all it needed was for me to slip into that and find that myself. So that's kind of it. It's just the voice that I heard when I was reading it. And I don't know where that comes from in one's imagination, but there it is. That's the fun part of the job.
Did you remember your second question, Ava?
If you want to come back and ask your second one, you can.
Okay.
Just to give you guys a heads up, we have about 5 minutes left in this panel. I know, I'll be the bad guy, that's fine. I have to tell you the truth. Sorry.
Hi, my name's Karen.
Hello, Karen.
I'm really nervous right now.
Don't be nervous.
My heart is like beating out of my chest.
You're not the one with loads of people staring at you.
There's still a lot of people looking at me, talking to me. I have 2 questions. One was, in one of the episodes, you were online dating.
Yes.
Did you enjoy doing that bit? Were you actually online dating?
Oh no, they just created a little thing that was about a 2-minute thing on loop.
Wow, that would have been funny if you actually were.
I'd have been too engrossed. I don't really. I love gaming, but I don't like online gaming because everyone's better than me. So if they just had me gaming online, I'd have been too angry.
Don't worry, I'll laugh at my husband when he does it. My second question is, could you see yourself be a doctor on Doctor Who?
See myself being a duck?
No, as the doctor.
Oh, as the doctor? Ah. That's interesting. I don't, it's up to you. I don't know whether you'd like me to or not.
And use the hat.
Email Moffat. Thank you. There are actually some similarities between Ichabod and the Doctor, actually. A man out of time, a man who's deadly serious, but other people don't take him quite so seriously. So yeah, I mean, I've done it already. Hello.
One of the first things I saw you in, I absolutely loved, was Lost in Austin. I just wanted to find out, I guess, what was your favorite scene or the scene that you were...
They're doing it again, quick! 3, 2, 1! Thank you. Sorry.
What was the scene that you're most excited to act out, for Lost in Austin?
In Lost in Austin? Oh man, there was a scene where Jane was very sick, and Jemima's character, my God, I've forgotten the name. What was the name of?
Amanda.
Amanda. Look at me like that. Had paracetamol.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed that scene. That was the, and then Darcy comes in and I talk about paracetamols. And it's where I express my feelings to Amanda and she pretends that she's a lesbian. What was the line about? Oh yes, there are women who steal the punt from the Cambridge End, which I think is a lovely line.
if you remember, can you say the one about going downtown? You know what she sings after she sings? Do you remember?
Oh, God. It was
if you're getting down.
Oh, when I'm getting down, do you want to go downtown? He says people actually in that Elliot Cannon way.
Thank you.
Oh, thanks very much. You haven't seen Must. It's a really lovely series. I'm very proud of that. That was one that I think there was talk of a second season of that, but then schedules interfered and it never happened. But that's occasionally there are jobs that you hold very close to you, and that's one of them. So thanks for the question.
You are our final question.
It's just a shame Tom Riley was in it.
All eyes are on you.
So I've known a number of interviews. I'm sitting by the way. In a number of interviews, you've talked about in school your people telling you that you are a certain type, you play a certain type. But if you were to venture out of that and kind of just go for it, is there any against type you kind of like to try?
Oh, I mean, I'd say that Ichabod is certainly out of type of the sort of parts that I was playing. You find a way of getting your foot in the door, and that is your type. I couldn't have started my career trying to play against type because why are they going to trust this kid to do something when he clearly isn't? That's just the way that it works. A lot of the industry, they don't really like acting. And so, at drama school, one of the things that is quite good is they work with you to find what your type is, what you'd be good at playing. And they said, to posh up your voice a bit and go for, to aim for period. That's a very, very prolific genre in England, particularly. There's always, you can't turn a corner without there being a period drama. And so that's a good way in. And then I just ended up playing posh tits for a while. And I really think if Sleepy Hollow was an English production, I don't think I would have been cast as Ichabod. Where I was in my career, there had been a few jobs before, like Potty Perrone in Parade's End, who was a posh idiot. Then I did a play in the West End called Posh, which was a posh idiot. And you just know that people say, oh wow, he was a really great posh idiot. I wonder if we've got any more posh idiot parts. And it takes someone to... Peter Hall, who's a brilliant theatre director, kind of broke that with casting me as Hal in Henry IV. That wasn't the sort of thing that I was playing at the time. And Ichabod, to play something that requires lots of action, running about and being grisly, I don't know whether I would have been seen for it in England. It takes, maybe every 3 years you get a corner and you start to play something different, and then you're that for a few years, and then there's something different and you're that for a few years. Unless you're very lucky when you establish yourself, and then you can decide what you do. And then I make terrible mistakes, just you wait.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.